Welcome, Prince of Dundrasil, to Angri-La. I am Pang, Grand Master of the Temple. We humbly swear to honor the ancient agreement, to accept you as a disciple, and cultivate your physical and spiritual strength as best we can. What's the matter? Too many long words? Fine. Allow me to explain it all in terms you'll understand. For as long as anyone can remember, the sons of the Dracilian royal family have been sent here to be educated for 6 years of their youth. As the Crown Prince of Dundrasil, you too were supposed to have come here as a boy and trained under me. When your homeland was destroyed by monsters, the world thought you dead. But still, we held out hope. For many long years, we have awaited your coming.
It's been a long time, Master Pang. Forgive me for not visiting you sooner.
My dear Robert, it has been rather a long time, hasn't it? I must admit, I had thought we would only meet again in the next world. Speaking of which, you look like you've seen a ghost, boy. Though I must admit, I have a similar feeling. It's as if we've met before somewhere. Strange. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I would so like to have a nice, long chat with my lovely new disciple. But there are more important matters at hand. Even from half a world away, I can feel the evil aura emanating from the Dark Star. It is a body of unfathomable wickedness. You mean to destroy it, don't you? Well, it just so happens that there's a special training regime here at the temple that should prepare you to do just that. We call it the Wheel of Harma. I will summon forth the constant cycle of fiendish foes that will push your powers to the very limit. Many have attempted to conquer the wheel, but though the trial has existed for a millennium or more, none have succeeded. If you're feeling brave, speak with the High Lama.
Grandmaster, I have spent years practicing everything you taught me. Focus, discipline, abstinence. Let me show you what I can do.
Very sprightly. I'd like to see how you've come along, Rab. You certainly seem a lot more focused than when we last met.
Oh, I'm focused, all right. Come on, you young whippersnappers. What are we waiting for? I have a thing or two to show you. Hey,
Oh no!
I take back everything I said. Come here, Robert. We have a record to break.
Alright, so this is the field of discipline, and this specifically here is something I don't really need to show much of, but kind of describe it. There are a series of trials called the Wheel of Harma, in which they make you specifically go into multiple different battles and require specific party sets, like slots for your party. For example, the 4th trial requires you to use your entire team, but split across 4 separate battles. It's kind of like trial and error, because you'll figure out what enemies are in each one, and then you have to figure out the magic party set that uses the specific skills to kill everything as fast as possible to get the ultimate rewards of beat all of these challenges within 20 turns in total. And if you do that, you can get some good stuff. I know about this bit more because the final trial's ultimate prize is what apparently is the most powerful greatsword in the game. I don't really have any interest in it, to be honest. I find some of it to be a little hard. Like, I find myself still kind of having a bit of trouble with it. And I don't really feel like having to go and, like, look up a YouTube guide of, this is exactly the moves you have to do. And that kind of feels a little lame. And I'm kind of like, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. However, I did want to show the introduction to Angela. And I did want to show some footage of like what you have to do here, because I feel like this should at least be an all-encompassing thing that gives you an idea of all the post-game of what I've been able to find. Anyway, I will see you guys when I find the next objective to do.
One moment, if you would.
Hey, I unlocked this scene by just talking to the dude.
Huh?
Honored luminary, will you permit me and my daughter a few minutes alone?
Hey, go on, hang out. He might get you a car or something. My parents wouldn't.
Despite Mordigan's machinations, my subjects have remained content. My kingdom has remained free of undue suffering. Alas, you, my dear, were not so lucky. I cannot help but wonder how things might have been if I had remained by your side on that fateful day. Perhaps Mordigan would not have possessed me. Perhaps I would not have missed all those years with my beloved daughter. If only I had been better, stronger. Perhaps I could have resisted him. You were meant to know only peace. To be the princess of a great kingdom, blissfully ignorant of the woes of the world. But no. Instead, you fought. But you have fought enough. It is time to come home, to claim your birthright, to live in peace and privilege here with me in Heliodor.
Oh, Father. I wouldn't change any of it. I wouldn't change a single day.
Hmm?
I've been traveling now for many years, searching for something, meaning, I suppose. And it's been hard, sometimes unbearably so. But it was worth it. I found what I was looking for in the end. You, Father. Rab, my friends, the people of Heliodor. All the people of Erdrea, in fact. These are what give life meaning. And they need protecting. And I'll do whatever it takes to protect them.
You do your kingdom and your father proud. I had thought to save this for the day you took the throne, but I see now that it is time. The tiara is very precious. It once belonged to your mother.
Thank you, Father. It's beautiful.
Now go. Do what you must do. And when all is ended, and peace has returned, you must come home to us. To Heliodor.
Of course. I'm looking forward to it.
See, that was a really nice scene. Completely missable. I'm glad I checked the shell that the Queen of Nautica gave us, so I didn't miss that. I'm guessing that's a different tiara we just picked up. There it is. It provides protections against all kinds of enchantments and incantations. Very nice, but I don't want to compromise my my outfit, because it'll reset what she looks like. But because there's no sparkly around that. Hold on, is there sparkly around that and I'm stupid? No, there's no sparkly around it. But I think that's really good because it also gives her some character moment there. I would say that the one major problem I have with the game is that in the part 2 of the game, where the world has gone to hell, you get an arc for every character. Every one of them. You start it, you get an arc for Hendrik for character development, and then he joins your party. Then you get a small mini one for Rab, where you get an idea of what his training was like, and you get some moments between him and Castles learning new techniques. So you do that, and then I believe Sylvando is next after that one. And then you have a moment of you helping out a father and a son, and then that reminds him of his situation with his father and helps him get the bravery to maybe give it a try with Don Rodrigo. And then, I don't know if it's before or after, you get one with Castles where you get to learn about his past. And you get to free his father from his suffering, as much as you can do for a silent protagonist who has less of a connection to his real parents. And then we skip her, we go to Eric, and he has his whole thing with his sister, his situation, the thing that's been ailing him the whole time, and I think that arc's pretty good. Then you have Serena, her arc is this bitch who has no arc is dead, and that allows her to grow to become a stronger person, and I think that that's really well executed. But Jade, they're like, fuck it, we're gonna make her hot! That's all we get for her. It's like, oh no, Booga made her look like a sexy vampire. And oh, she got a power-up from it, cause fucking, I don't know, it'd be fun. And I thought that was just supremely weak. Supremely weak. Because she has stuff going on. She has stuff going on, like her regrets of, how she said if she wishes that, she had been able to save us and she's been living with guilt of that. Maybe something about self-worth. Something. And they just gave us none of it. But in the post-game, they give us one scene where at least there's something. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. You know what I mean? It feels good that they at least threw her a bone in some way, because they really didn't in the main game. And that always stuck out to me as weird, where they opted in more for spending more time with the fan service thing of just like, hey, let's show how sexy she is, instead of showing the depth to her character. And that's not me saying I don't like that the look how sexy she is thing is in there. I think the scenario overall is kind of funny and alright, but I just wish we had both things, and that one was not replacing the other. I just thought I would make that a bit clear. This is something I've been ruminating on, but I had no idea this scene would actually build on her character, which has me very happy about that. Anyway, I shall see you when I find more things to do. Alright, we are back, and we have another situation on our hands. Let's see what we can do about the Tatsunaga. Unexpected guests arrive like snow in July. Will you hear my tale? I mean, sure, if I have to. Believe it or not, this great dragon is my son. Victim of a curse. But hope is not dead. I have a special mirror, one that shows the truth. Yet we need more still. A drop of lumen essence. Bring that drop. Oh, I have that. Can this be true? Can that be luminescence? Oh, fuck! God, mother! Puns! Is salvation near? Hope is rekindled. My son can be saved. Will you hear my plea? Will you bring light back to us as sun pierces clouds? Sure, why not? Words will not suffice. You've given us a chance. Lighten the darkness.
The mirror glows. At last its power wakens. Now to see the truth. Mirror, with your light, rid us of the dragon's curse. Let my son be free! Liu!
Mother!
The drought breaks. Rain falls. Tears of joy well in my eyes. Pain washes away. How long I waited. The nights were never ending. I pined like the wolf.
Mother, I am here. The time of sorrow over. The dragon no more.
Who?
They are our saviors. Restorers of the mirror. Heralds of the truth.
My joy knows no bounds. United with my mother, dawn breaks on Heart's hills.
We owe you a debt. We await you in the shrine. Let us give thanks there.
I guess there was no real need to fight anything there. I was prepped, though. I was prepped to fight Tatsunaga with green eyes. But if we don't need to, then I guess it's okay. What's with this person? I want to forge the Sword of Kings. I need Orichalcum. I mean, I could get this guy Orichalcum, but I don't know if I'm truly interested in that. I believe that that's part of a method to craft a super strong version of our Sword of Light. But I don't know if I'm too interested in getting that, to be honest. I don't need to do everything in the game. Hello. Yeah, I do the cool stuff. Yeah. I mean, you're giving me everything I'd need to make the sword again, but... A lake of lava. The holy flame cast within. Crucible reborn. The mountain secrets. Even I do not know all. What wonders sleep there? That could be an option. Can this be true? Can it be that you have it, the treasure I seek? Please, sell it to me, I beg you. How does 22,500 gold coins sound? There you go. This is the real thing. I can forge the blessed sword of kings. First I shall make it, then sell it here. What news, friend, huh? You saved Kai from the merman and he's alive and well? Shaka! Well done. The fishermen were feeling kinda blue about what happened to the kid, but now that he's safe, all their frowns will turn upside down for sure. As the kahuna, allow me to give you this on behalf of the entire village. It's the least you deserve for all you've done. Pirate King's cap. As soon as the boys are ready to set sail, we'll head on over to the island and pick him up. Everybody will be real glad to see him again. Mahalo, friend. Thanks for helping us out. Expect you're wanting to get back to your adventures, but you're always welcome here if you need a break. Alright, so this is coming in late, as you can see, since I've done that quest. They didn't light this dude up, even when I came back here later. I had to Google it, because if you listen to the Nautica shell, it'll tell you that there's a seaside kahuna. I'm like, well, there's nothing lit up here. And then I had to Google it. He's just unmarked. So, you have to just go talk to the same guy. Alright, well that's done. Moving on to the next thing. Hey, what's crack-a-lack in Benedictus? The wind's bad tidings that you and your friends prevailed against the beast, who had made the king of Heliodor his slave. Yet, Odwin's lantern has fallen, and Erdrea finds itself once again in the grip of fear and confusion. I have a gift for you, Luminary. One that I hope might aid you in fulfilling your divine duty. I'm restoring peace to the land we call home. Pray, take it with my blessing. The Rusty Scepter. You hold it in your hand, the legendary Scepter of Time. The favorite weapon of the Holy Sage Serenica. Alas, the elements have not been kind. Perhaps you could find the necessary instructions. You might be able to restore it, using that forge of yours. Legends tell of Serenica's erstwhile companion, Drustin the Brave. Having been a skilled blacksmith, might he have left behind some clues to the scepter's composition? Alright, so there's a way to, like, get an ultimate scepter. Neat. Alright, I don't know if I'll do it, but I thought I'd at least, you know, take it off the list. The blade has been forged. Splendor plain for all to see. My life's work complete. It's on sale. Oh, if it is, where are you selling it? I guess it should be in this main shop, right? Working for this dude in here. For this lady in here. Oh, there it is. Sword of Kings. An extremely effective evil banishing blade that can be used in battle to unleash biting winds upon opponents. I feel like this could come in handy at some point. Give it to me. Sure, why not? Thanks for the sword, I appreciate it. Hey, what's up? I know it's been a bit and I blew you off last time, but I actually have a need for you. So I went to the Celestial Sands to steal another one of those Serpent Souls, so we have 2. I'd like some Crimsonite. Yes, I would like some more Crimsonite, please. Alright, we have 2 Crimsonite. This is all according to my Grandmaster plan, ladies and gentlemen. See you soon. Well, here we are again, in the Crucible. I mean, hey, why not for old time's sake, right? Let's use our forging hammer and work on some more calcum and make ourselves another Sword of Light. I picked up the forging hammer by going to Gallopolis, and if you do the platinum race on easy mode, yeah, that's right, easy mode, you basically have to put in no effort. You can get yourself the forging hammer. Because we don't have it, you know, time travel and all that.
So we did it, huh? A second Sword of Light. So, are you gonna give it a try or what?
Booby doob! Yeah! Wata! Boom! Man, I could make a killing selling these. Alright, well, as you've seen through my cutting throughout the video, we've been doing quite a bit. All of it is according to my grand master plan. I've received myself a crafting recipe, and I've been slowly but surely building upon it, building its ingredients throughout the various cuts in this video. And now, I believe we are done. I believe we're done. At least I'm pretty sure. We head on over to the forging menu. We can enjoy a nice little level up. We're going to need it. We're going to need this 20 focus. And we can forge the Supreme Sword of Light, the ultimate symbol of hope for Erdrea. Its blessed blade can do away with any and all evil effects. This requires a Sword of Light, which means we can't use the one we got through the game's plot, because that's called the Super Sword of Light, so it doesn't count. You need the Sword of Kings, forged with orichalcum by the dude in Hato. You need 2 Crimsonite, which you can obtain via Crystalinda, I believe her name is, via 2 Serpent Souls, 2 Uber Agates of Evolution. They give you 4 of those, I believe, for your digital pre-order, so I just have them. I think you might just get it if you buy it digitally. And 2 Spectralite, which are rare, but there's a shop in an area I'm going to show in a minute that sells them. So if you put all of these together, the game's ultimate weapon is right here for you. And since we fast traveled, it autosave, so I can just reset if I fuck this up. Let's get to forging this blade. Here's how I forge. Sizzly Puffs. We do 3 Sizzly Puffs, and then I do, and then I kind of just go at it. Whenever it's a 3 like this, I tend to kind of spread the love around just a little bit. Now, there is a worry here, and it's the fact that this damn thing takes quite a bit of juice. I don't like this. Triple whammy. Yeah, we may have to do some whammies on this one. Inspiration Strike! Master Stroke! Hephaestus Flame. This makes it so my next shot does really well. But and as a bonus, you only get one of these. You can only get one of these. And even if you go over, it'll be okay. So I'll choose these 2. Alright, I didn't go over at all. Yeah, we can't always get what we want, right? Close enough. I'm done. Give me my Sword of Light! What? What do you mean it's broken? I successfully forged the Super Light, but it didn't look like it turned out very well. Then we did it! The Supreme Sword of Light has been forged! I never said that it would be perfect! I just said I would forge it! As a reference, here's the Super Sword of Light, 507. And here is the Supreme Sword of Light, which has gold trimming on it. Very nice. Ooh, ah. This is still stronger. You're like, KZ, did you really forge such a hard thing? And not only are you barely even hitting the minimum on it, but are you also just straight up not using it? To you, I say, oh, what's it to you, man? What are you talking about? It's gonna be in my pocket. It's going to be useful in our final battle. Very, very, very useful. Alright, next up on our hit list, we need to check out the place just so I can say I did it. Let's show you what Drustin's Labyrinth is like. Because this was very key in us getting what we need to do today, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man. So, Drustin's Labyrinth is an area that is near Zwardrest, which, if you go into one of the ruins in it, will take you to this place. It's called Trial Isle. Drustin is the man who has the equipment I have right here for Hendrik. He was the big brutish warrior guy from the past in the older Luminaries group. He decided to make this place to train people so that they could face the Dark One day. You know, that kind of thing. And within it is the Temple of Tranquility, where 3 trials await you in these 3 different zones. You're wondering, what amazing things are they? They are repurposed dungeons from before. The first one is a recreation of the crypt that we found Veronica and Serena in, basically. So it's the one where you're getting on the boneman and crawling up places and falling into crumbling pits. The second one is based upon the Gold Digger dungeon, so there's going to be a lot of use of going around locked doors in a solid gold area. They also mix in some earlier areas as well, but the main thing you spend your time in are these dungeons. And the third one is a repurposed Fortress of Fear, which is Mordigan's castle. And through them you'll get various things like the armor you've seen me using on the main character, which is his ultimate armor, at least cosmetically. Erdwin's outfit, including his tunic and his coronet. You can also get some other decent stuff as well. This is, I believe, how I got I think I got the Sun Crown recipe for this place. I'm not too sure. Apparently the luminescence that we picked up that helped out Miko and Ryu and Hato is obtained here. Did not know that, but I guess I picked it up by accident. And of course the entire Drustin set is available here, including his sword, his shield, his helm, and his armor. So that's pretty good. We should also probably get you something different than the suits, that if you're not using the jack boots. Actually, apparently fucking there's not much better. But that's it. That is what these trials consist of. It's a lot of twisting turns, using warps, but for the most part, it's the same thing. Of course, you'd say, what is the end of these challenges? What is the end of Trial Isle? Well, whenever you beat their ultimate challenge of each of those 3, which is defeating a boss or an enemy type or a group of enemies you fought before, within a certain amount of turns, you're rewarded with a wish. And they give you a few different wishes. And they do various different things. In fact, one of them is, I wish Serena's hair was shorter. And yes, indeed, they gave me the Ring of Changes to then give her her superior haircut. I don't know, I just think she looks a little cute like that. I think I'm more attached to it because of the character development it represents, to be honest. But, that is one of the wishes you can do. Another one is, I wish me and Gemma were married, which is an option, I guess, that just makes you get married to them. I didn't choose that wish upon beating them. You know why? Cazles doesn't want to make Gerald upset. Yeah, man, you don't want to be tied down. See? This is like, sometimes you gotta be a roving bachelor in this world. And yes, that's my actual reasoning. Overall, the big wish that I made sure to do, I also unlocked, better horse races, but I don't really give a shit. I just picked it. But the main thing I went for was, I wish for the recipe of an ultimate weapon, which, of course, is the recipe for the Supreme Sword of Light, which is what brought us on this very journey. So, with that being said, there's not much else for the game to show me. I mean, I've done the trial. I've done all 3 of them off screen because I really don't care to show that kind of stuff. It's so much fluff, and we've done so much repeated content over the post-game. We seem to be almost ready. I think what I'll do is I'm going to do some final, keyword, final preparations. And I think we'll beat the game. There was one thing I was hoping I could do, which was, because I'm editing all these together and some of the stuff from the older episodes, I kind of wanted to do all of the Wheel of Harma, I think it's called, trial stuff, to get, like, the ultimate greatsword as well, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of burned out after getting the Supreme Sword of Light. Like, I think I've done more than enough. Because, God, there's just so much to this game's so dense. Like we're like over 60 episodes, and even if each episode is, oh god, can we zoom out of here? Yo, you mind if I leave? You mind if I leave? Yeah, let's just leave. You know the that was scary the way that echoed. But even if every episode I've done is a half hour long, even taking apart like 60 episodes, right? That's 30, that's an hour, that's 30 hours at 60 episodes. And some episodes are longer than others. We're definitely at more than 60. I would like to say that, like, equaling out that 30 hours, maybe increase that by 50%. That's how much time I've spent off-screen playing this game. It is, we have put in quite a chunk of time, ladies and gentlemen. But that said, I did want to talk a little bit about my overall thoughts on the game before we get ready to finish it up, and then I will take a little bit to do last-minute adjustments, buy a couple of items, and then we'll go beat the game. So, final thoughts. I think this game's fantastic. I'd say it's probably at this moment in time, my favorite RPG of the generation. Of course, my most anticipated game of all time comes out on January of 2019, so that might end up taking it just on personal preference of what kind of games I like. But when it comes to a turn-based RPG, this is one of the best there is. Fantastic balancing overall. The only part where I thought it was a little unfair was the dragon enemy that you fight outside to Sniffelheim in the postgame. I felt that guy's a little bit too bullshit, but I ended up beating him by power leveling. So in the end, it's like, whatever, just grind. Aside from that, I think the game has magnificent pacing, and the main game does a really fantastic job of executing on story, giving everyone proper character development, except Jade, giving everyone, like, arcs and characters that I care about. Granted, I don't like Veronica very much, but in the main game, her purpose is to help push her sister forward in the end, and I think that she serves that purpose incredibly well. Here, I still don't really care about her that much, but, you know, we can't always have I've yet to find a party in a JRPG where I feel like every single member is, like, the best there is. Actually, I'm thinking, like, maybe Tales of Berseria, but it's been a while. Been a while since I played that, so I might have different opinions, but I think they executed on that really well. The story, handling a World of Ruin type of situation where the bad guy wins and going back to older areas was really good. Really good development. The game continues to exhaustively set things up and answer your questions, and they executed on this post-game incredibly well in the beginning. Combat. Fantastic, just in general going through the character builder. This stuff is really fun. This is a really fun skill tree that's been fun to conquer over time. Just getting everything done. Just opening up different skills and unlocking different parts of the tree throughout the game. And the fact that Hendrik and Sylvando, through their training, unlocked their own exclusive parts of the tree just cuz in post-game is really cool. Overall, I really like this. This reminds me of stuff like the Sphere Grid in FF10, though that one is a bit more obtuse. I really love these types of grids where you obtain new skills, and I think that was really good. and the fact that I have different weapons, so it incentivizes you going and trying different things. And another thing that incentivizes it is the fact... Yeah, we're talking so long that the time of day is changing. Morning comes, but the talk continues. One of the things that also incentivizes the use of variety is this guy right here. He lets you rectify all of your stuff. Any church, any statue will let you respec for a very little amount of cost. I have respec'd at least 60 times. Just like, okay, maybe I could get another skill if I just really try here. And I tried basically everything except for a couple of things, like maybe boomerangs on Eric, and really found some good stuff. I started off with Eric being a dude who would, you know, get status effects with knives. The next thing you know, that's going to be Sylvando doing that duty. And now Eric is a dual-wielding swordsman who has some stuff we're going to talk about before we fight the final boss. I'll save setup for right before we go in. I think the gameplay is really good. There's some aspects that I find to be very weird and I'm not super into, which is you can only attack enemies with spread spells if they're the same enemy type. Because it kind of goes against certain things, because the enemies can also use spread attacks, but they are not limited to that rule. So for some reason, there are two demons that look exactly the same and are the same color, but in certain encounters they don't count because they don't want them to count. But we always count. That's a little bit weird and kind of goes against it, but I'm fine with that because it's not always breaking its own rule, and it's more of a pet peeve. That and the fact that when we fought Mordigan, when he turned into his Mordragon form, he tried to use Zing, and it didn't work. So the fact that they are in fact following rules like that, I think is okay. The pep system overall is another part of the combat I should talk about. I think that's pretty good. I feel like it's handled well enough, and the spontaneousness can be a bit of a problem for me, but I think it works out. I feel like its main purpose, if I'm being honest, is to be used by the enemy. Because having bosses be able to pep up is a really good way for the designers to specifically shake you out of a rhythm. Because you establish a rhythm if you're playing an RPG, right, of, okay, the enemy will attack this many times, it will typically run through these types of attacks, it'll usually react to certain things, like if you're putting a lot of buffs, maybe they'll do Disruptive Wave to cancel them, and you typically get in a rhythm. But if something peps, that changes everything, because then they're doing more damage than you expect. Then maybe they're dodging something or taking less damage, and most importantly, their speed is probably increasing, so their turn's gonna come up faster than you may expect. So you then have to adapt to it. So I feel like that is the bigger purpose for that. Then again, you know, pep is the way you get your special attacks in the game. So I'm not discounting that, but I'm just saying that feels like the truest use of it. Where it is a tool to shake you out of a rhythm in major boss battles. But overall, music, if I can talk about that. I think the compositions are okay. I think they serve their purpose. But they aren't very good within the context of this game. Like, I would never say, go on YouTube and listen to these tracks. I would go on YouTube, maybe, and listen to the orchestral arrangements, because as it turns out, these are like synthesized MIDI-style tracks that, in general, are very badly put together. They grate on the ears, the horns, it's just, it doesn't work for me. However, overall, I find a lot of the music overall to be okay. Not some of the best stuff, like for example, I think the overworld theme we have in the post-game here is a lot better than the one we had for most of the game. But then again, that's a classic one from Dragon Quest III. But overall, that doesn't help. The composer being shitty, while it doesn't really matter in this context, makes me have no problem saying that some of this music just ain't coming out too well. Makes sense. The dude's like 800 years old. Apparently when Dragon Quest I came out, he was already collecting pension. So, maybe... maybe he probably... I'm just saying, I don't think he's working on Dragon Quest 12. I don't think he'll, you know, maybe his company, or maybe someone who will who will, you know, take on his work will, but I don't see him having an active role composing just because of how old he is. Alright, so I've talked about music, talked about that. What do I think of the story? I think the story does a really good job of just delivering some really bittersweet moments, doing things I don't expect, having some cliches thrown in there, but is doing them in an honest way and delivering a story that I am engaged with the whole way. And I think the final thing I'd like to talk about are my negatives, and one of them is this post-game we're playing right now. I have certain issues with the fact that the game spent a lot of time giving us a story that was built with a lot of bittersweet moments throughout, and it almost feels like that they were able to do that because they knew they were going to do a post-game where you can solve the problems in Hado, and then the mother and her son get to live, and the mermaid is somehow alive again, and apparently, you know, Mia doesn't go to the dark side for a little bit, so I feel like she, you know, loses a little bit there. And I think if I would have to say, the one thing that I think the post-games canon kind of fucks with me a little bit is Jasper. Think about him. He was in the post-game for about 5 minutes. He shows up, we have that fight against him, we beat him, and he's like, "Ah, fuck, I didn't expect this." And then King Carnelian, who's possessed by Mortigan, kills him. And that's Jasper's story at an end. And what it means to Hendrik is, Hendrik now knows this Jasper as someone who was probably manipulated by Mortigan, and that's it. However, what did we get in the main game for Jasper? We got a character who is constantly, you know, fighting with us, but once the world gets taken over, he's like, "Oh man, Jasper's on the evil side," and we team up with Hendrik and we have an encounter with him. We get to learn more about their past, and Hendrik gets to lament on what's happened with Jasper, his relationship with him. Jasper gets to attack Hendrik multiple times, and gets to express, you know, that he felt he was always trying to catch up to Hendrik, and Hendrik was the one that always got everything, and that Hendrik, in his view, just wasn't recognizing him at all, and it was something that he envied him for. And then we have that moment in his final moments where Hendrik says, "The reason I am the man I am today is because you were always there supporting me and pushing me." And then you have that moment where Jasper kind of just looks and realizes what he's done and realizes what's really been going on. You know, he has that realization of how things could have been different, and you can feel in that moment that he probably regrets what he's done, and he probably regrets all of the hatred he's held for his former companion. But here, no, he just gets stabbed here. He gets, like, sliced, and that's it. And all of that's gone. It's a timeline that is dead. A dead end that does no longer matter. And the only person who knows about all these things is this little dude who didn't actually talk. There's also some other issues, like stuff like your main character not reacting immediately to King Carnelian and kind of almost dumbfoundedly letting it happen. Almost as if he doesn't have memories of the previous timeline, but he does, because the Time Woman said, the Time Woman, which I think her name was Serenica, right? Like, she said you do. I had to look it up after that recording session because that part confused me. Stuff like that I think is a little bit boneheaded, and I feel like I kind of get a little bit bored of the side content. If I wasn't doing a Let's Play, I would not do all of this, but I ended up doing it because, you know, it felt good to at least complete 90% of the story stuff, which we kind of done. The only thing we haven't done is Wheel of Harma, and, like some horse race and some other shit, but, aside from that, we're pretty good. But those are my main gripes. Overall, I think everything's done here, and of course there's the thing with Jade, where character development, the best you get is, when you first, like, meet with her and you talk with her a little bit after it's introduced who she is in relation to you. And then in this post-game, I'm glad I found that scene, because I would be a lot more negative about this whole thing. But overall, this is one of the best RPGs I've played this generation, probably in the last 10 years. Fantastic game, and it's time to get ready to finish it off. I want to get a couple of items and get everyone souped up to beat the game, and I think we will save the final battle for the final video next time. Ladies and gentlemen, there is one more loose thread that I want to cover at the end of this video, because people will be upset if I don't. We need to answer who's the daddy. I'm very interested. He came from the light! Okay, that wasn't the most extravagant thing in the world, but Don Rodrigo descending from the heavens. That might be pretty great. Alright, we're done. See you next time.